Imagine this. You're in the middle of a heated argument. Your heart is pounding. Every word feels like a weapon. Every sentence, another battle. You're carefully crafting your next move, determined to prove you're right. But the other person, they're doing the exact same thing. No one's listening. You're not having a conversation, you're preparing for war. And then he steps in. Nietzsche. He doesn't take sides. He doesn't tell you what to say. Instead, he leans in and whispers something chilling. You've already lost. Wait, what? You're fighting, defending yourself, standing your ground. How is that a loss? Because to Nietzsche, the moment you need to prove you're right, you've surrendered your power. Real strength, he says, doesn't come from fighting to be right. It comes from something far more surprising. So what is this hidden power? Why does silence often speak louder than words? Let's dive into Nietzsche's philosophy and uncover the silent trick that gives you true power. Most people think power equals winning arguments, proving others wrong, dominating the conversation. But Nietzsche, he saw things differently. He believed the most powerful person in the room is the one who doesn't react. Let's break it down. Why do people argue? 1. Ego protection. Arguments often aren't about truth, they're about identity. Admitting you're wrong feels like losing a piece of yourself. 2. Power struggles. It's not about fact, it's about control. Who dominates the tone, who gets the last word, who makes the other back down. 3. Social validation. Sometimes, we argue not because we care, but because we want to look strong in front of others. Nietzsche saw all of this as weakness. The moment someone provokes you and you react, they're in control, not you. The Übermensch and the will to power. Nietzsche's famous concept, the will to power, isn't about brute strength. It's about self-mastery. And the Übermensch's ideal superior individual doesn't waste energy on petty debates. He chooses when to speak. He chooses if to speak. Because power isn't loud. Power is precise. Imagine this. 2 people in a meeting. One is loud, aggressive, arguing hard. The other, calm, still, observing. Then just one sentence. Well-timed, sharp, game-changing. Who really had control? Nietzsche would say, the one who didn't react emotionally. Strategic silence, the invisible weapon. Silence used intentionally is not weakness. It's dominance. It forces others to fill the space, to expose themselves, to unravel. It creates tension, and whoever controls the tension controls the room. The Übermensch uses silence like a blade. A pause, a glance, a moment of restraint that changes everything. Let's look at 3 legendary figures who mastered this silent power. 1. Socrates, winning without fighting. Socrates didn't argue. He asked questions. And those questions made others contradict themselves. He didn't say, "You're wrong." He made them realize it. He knew people don't accept what they're told. They accept what they discover. This is the essence of silent power. 2. Steve Jobs, the art of controlled conflict. Jobs didn't avoid conflict, orchestrated it. When something didn't matter, he let it go. But when it did, he pushed hard but not aimlessly. Take the iPhone. His team wanted physical buttons. Jobs didn't argue endlessly. He guided them until they saw it his way and believed it was their idea. That's real influence. 3. Miyamoto Musashi, the silent samurai. Musashi won over 60 duels, but his deadliest weapon? Psychology. Before one famous duel, he arrived hours late. His opponent furious, off balance, emotional. Musashi, calm, focused. He won before the first strike. Nietzsche would nod in approval. If your enemy is emotional, they're already defeated. Why silence works, backed by psychology. Modern science supports Nietzsche's ideas. Cognitive biases. We don't argue logically, we argue to win. Emotional triggers. Arguments feel like identity attacks. Validation craving. Most arguments come from egonomic truth. Powerful people know this. They stay calm. They speak less but mean more. When to argue and when to stay silent. Don't engage when you're defending your ego. The other person isn't open. It's an emotional battle with no outcome. Engage when it sharpens your thinking. It leads to growth. It shifts power in your favor. The final thought. Words are currency. Imagine you only had 100 words left to speak in your life. Would you waste them on a pointless argument? Or would you choose them carefully, like a warrior choosing his final blade? That's Nietzsche's silent trick. Speak only when it matters. And when you do, speak with impact. So next time you're pulled into a fight, pause. Watch. Listen. Let them reveal their fears. And when the time is right, say one word or none. Because silence isn't weakness. Silence is power. Want more insights on power, philosophy, and psychology? Hit subscribe, turn on the bell, and stay tuned for deeper dives that sharpen your mind and strengthen your presence. Stay sharp, stay powerful.